Welcome to the Caribbean Edge. We thank you for tuning in and for joining this episode with us tonight as we discuss a very important topic that's posed by one of our panelists actually in our last show. So last week we did a show about healthy separation, and Mrs. Judith Fallon Reed, who is with us tonight, said the idea that there's only one person for each of us is total madness. So I said, okay, will you join me on a show discussing this topic? And she said, of course. So my people reached out to her people, and now we're here tonight to discuss it. So I'm going to have the panel introduce themselves, starting with Miss Judith Fallon Reed. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Dawn. Thank you for having me. I look forward to this discussion. And thank you for throwing me under the bus with that. I am Judith Fallon Reed, happily married to Michael Brown. We own Bar Vision Films. We're filmmakers. I'm a writer, author, director, producer. I'm also an author and a poet, and we're also co-owners of Irie Times TV. That's it in a nutshell.
Thank you. And she does a lot in the Caribbean community. She works with the Consul General Office. I'm going to brag a little bit about her because she also features the Caribbean Edge on Irie Times TV. They haven't checked it out yet. It's really a cultural experience. She also features Auntie Sophie, who does the Caribbean Edge Kids on her cultural zone as well. So one of the great things about what we do is give you exposure to the Caribbean and different people and show our rich heritage and culture. So Irie Times TV is a platform you certainly want to check out, and you can check out all the other cultural experiences happening there, from music to poetry to everything. I am just truly honored to know you, and she's a very good person as well. So thank you. Welcome. We're going to have fun tonight with this topic as she raised it for us. And like she said, she is happily married too. So I'm sure her husband tuned in as well. And so let's switch over to Derek. Derek, how are you this evening? And thank you for joining us.
Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, Don.
So tell us about you. I know you're connected somehow to Michelle Hussein, who works diligently behind the scenes in Atlanta. So tell us about you.
Yes, my name is Derek Westry. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, proud Atlanta native. My background is actually in mental health and education. So, it's going to be interesting to hear about this topic today. I am a married man with 4 daughters and a granddaughter, and I am teaching them this question here also. So this is going to be some interesting lessons that will be talked about tonight from this topic. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like he has some stuff in store for us tonight. So 2 married people. Let's see about Miss Judy. Hi, welcome, Jody. How are you?
I am fine. Welcome. It's good to be here. I was a teacher for 21 years. I was born in Trinidad, live in England, backward and forward. I am now Reverend Mother of a school, a teaching school. It's Courts of Melchizedek School of Teaching. Happily married, 3 children, grandchildren. They are all in England. I am stuck in Trinidad because of this pandemic. I cannot go home, but I'm here with you guys. And I think I have a lot to offer tonight as well.
Awesome. Well, I hope stuck in Trinidad means a good thing, because if I was stuck in Jamaica, I'd be happy.
Me too.
Me three.
When you miss your family, when you miss your family. So it's not bad.
Okay, good. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's start with the male of the group. Mr. Derek, tell us, is there only one person for us in your mind?
Indeed, there is. I'm a person that truly believes that if you have two people who have the flexibility and the willingness to want to be what each other's needs to be satisfied, then you have that one person. I believe that there is an element of compromise. So if you're willing to compromise, you're willing to be flexible, you're willing to listen, listen to each other's needs, listen to what's necessary to make the relationship grow and continue to be happy, then yes, you can always have that one person that brings you that lifetime happiness. One of the blessed things that I've been able to witness is my parents have been married for 43 years now. And I have other family members who have been married 50 years, 60 years. And so I've been able to just have tons of examples that has shown me that you can be with one person and be happy for life. So I definitely believe that you can find your one true happiness and be happy and not, of course, you're going to have, you got eyes, you see things. And of course, there are going to be, other types of, let's just say scenery around you. But in your heart, you know that that's just scenery. That's not that person that truly cares for you, loves you, even down to your funky underwear. And, when you got a penny to your name, that one person is always there for you. So I do believe that you can have one person in your life that makes you happy for a lifetime.
Okay, so can you explain scenery in more detail?
Sure. So again, there's always going to be attractive people that, that there are going to be people that you find attractive that are going to be out here in the universe. I mean, we're not blind. We all have eyes where you can, find attraction, physically, emotionally, mentally, things of that nature. But that's just something called attraction. That doesn't mean that that's somebody that you go after. It doesn't mean that there's somebody that is for you. It doesn't mean that it's actually somebody that you want to entertain. Okay. Again, it could just be straight through your eyes as far as, okay, that person is attractive, but you keep on walking, you keep on moving because that's just physical attraction. And so, again, it's no different than when you go to a different city or go to a different state and you driving through and you see the different scenery. You're like, oh man, that's nice. Or you go by the beach, that's nice. But, that home is where the heart is. So that's what I mean by scenery.
Okay. So did you fall in love and marry the one person?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yes. Very nice. Very interesting. Yes. I know one other person.
I believe that it will be, I do believe in forever. I don't, and so I believe that, that this is the person that God meant for me. So yes, I believe.
Wow. And how did you know? Like what? Because you did that at an early age too then.
Well, it's without hesitation. I mean, I don't think it's something that you project and that you see. It's just something that you feel. And that's what I tell people all the time, especially with men. It's not necessarily something that you that you seek after or that you focus on. Sometimes it just happens naturally or organically. And when it does happen naturally and organically, then it's just a feeling. And that feeling allows you to, give those actions, give those words that allow you to be able to just be with that one person. And so I think it starts intrinsically. It's not about, what you can give a person, what a person gives you, or, things of that nature. I believe it's something intrinsically that, you feel and your spouse feels that allows you to know that, hey, at the end of the day, this is the one I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Okay. So Miss Jody, in Trinidad, what do you feel about Derek? Do you feel the same? Do you have any questions for him, or what's your personal thoughts on the question?
My personal thoughts are a lot different for this reason. Okay. This is my second marriage. So to say there is only one person for you is kind of narrowing it down. I tend to agree with Judith to some degree for this reason. At different eras in your life, you have different experiences, different feelings, and you gain your knowledge along that way. My first husband, I got married when I was 19. I had my children for my first husband. And then we separated. It just was not right. It was toxic. However, there was a big gap for me. And then I remarried. And my second husband is now my children's father. And if you had told me about that when I was 19 and I got married, I'd tell you no, because I thought it would have been till actually dead do us part. However, in the line of work that I am in, I'm a Reverend Mother, and people come for counseling almost every day. And I see people with several different types of situations. There might be one person for you at any given time in life. There are times when people outgrow each other. There are times when people no longer want things for whatever reason. You know, Derek was saying a while ago, you know, he knew, but that is him. Yeah, I believe we all should have a soulmate, but as if we will find them in our lifetime. We may find several different things that we want in several different people, in speaking to them, being around them. You don't have to be intimate with them. However, if you take a bit of each of those people and make them, then you'll have that person, because some of us will live our whole lives and not meet our soulmate. So when my girl says is madness, I can understand what she's coming with. At any one given time in your life, that one person could suit that need. But then there are several different things. These are the things that cause miscommunications, arguments, fights, is how you deal with it. And sometimes, I am not saying it's right to go there and have another person, but in speaking to other people, in order to hear from different environments, different walks, different upbringings, sometimes that third person conversation can save your one and two conversations in your life. So for me, in the job that I am in, and in my life, that's one person for you, kind of madness. I agree with McGill, because it can change. I am seeing it daily now. It's not nice, but it's happening.
Okay. Well, thank you. And Miss Judith, tell us about you. So you came up with this statement, and of course I jumped at the opportunity to say, let's talk about it, and here we are. So it's madness. She didn't even say, she just said green or nothing. It was madness. Okay. So tell us about you, Judy, and your experience with this.
Okay, I think case closed. Reverend Mother just made the case. The truth is exactly what she said. It's several things. Okay, so first of all, let me put it in context, because just the statement by itself without the context kind of threw me under the bus. All right. So the context was they were talking about this idea that there's just one person that is designed for you and is for you. And I said that has to be madness. There can't be almost 8 billion people in the whole wide world. And of 8 billion people, there's only one single solitary person for you. And what happens if that one single solitary person for you that you found, okay, so you found them, you're together, and you found them at 20, and at 30 they die? Are you supposed to then live the rest of your life on your own because this one single person for you is now gone? Okay, so this is not my first marriage either. This is my third marriage. Okay, my first marriage was I was young. I don't really count it too much, except that I have my beautiful daughter from it. So that was the first one. My second marriage was for real. And I honestly thought that one was till death do us part. I went into it expecting that, wanting that. That's what I expected. But the truth was that we were two perfectly wonderful human beings. I would never say anything bad about him. Two perfectly wonderful human beings. But we were heading down two different roads on two different scooters. One in a motor car, one in a scooter. And our paths just honestly did not cross. And we tried and we tried and we failed miserably. And we both were to blame. And I think I'm a wonderful person, and I think he's a wonderful person. Of course, time passed in between the first and the second one, and more time even passed between the second one and the third one. But when I remarried, when I got married to Michael Brown, and I kept my former name because I've been a writer in that name for donkey's years. When I remarried Michael Brown, I finally found somebody who we were heading down the same road at the same time, in the same car, going in the same direction, wanting the same things. And so I don't know. And I don't know that if I had met him at 20, that he would have been the right person for life either. Because maybe at 20, we didn't want the same things. And I was like, I'm an artist, so my head is crazy and my head takes me sometimes. So, you know, I'm not your steady 9-to-5 kind of girl. And not everybody can deal with that personality. That personality can drive you crazy. And I own that.
Very true.
So I don't know that I believe. And I think that we have been warped, especially in the Western world, by stupid songs that say things like, if you never talk to me again, I will die. I'll never breathe again. And songs that say things like, how am I going to live without you? If there's no living, if living is without you.
Hey, that's a great Mary J. Blige song. Hey, that's a great Mary J. Blige song. Hold on there.
Breaking my heart.
You know, it didn't work out for her, though. It didn't work out for her, though. It was a good song, though.
We've been warped by these fairy tales. We really have been. And I hear you, Derek. I know other people who have been married for 40 years too. And if you have that, it's wonderful. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that I don't believe, not that I don't know, I don't believe that that is necessarily the path for everybody. And I don't think I have worked with abused women and helped to get them out of really bad situations. I don't believe that God called us to be unhappy and miserable and that we should be stuck in misery and unhappiness because this is the one person that you're supposed to be with, even though in batter bruising you are, even though you're miserable as hell, because your life is just misery. So there you go.
So I think a lot of us live with some kind of fairy tale. I mean, I grew up thinking that I would be with one person, and my first real boyfriend, I thought he was the one. He sent me those cards. You complete me.
That's what we do. Come on now, we gotta reel you in. Come on now.
I really did. And you know, I still throughout the years thought, like, had life not changed us, you know, like different states just tore us apart, whatever. I just think that in my fairy tale head, that we probably would have been one of those few couples like Derek that would have made it through, because that was my first love. He was everything I wanted, ambitious, tall, you know, sexy, everything I wanted. It's hard for us tall women, you know, because we narrow the pool down somewhat. So he was really everything. He was in the military. And so after a while, it became long distance, and I was still in Jamaica and he was in the US. So, you know, I live, and I still think to this day, despite, and women say, especially as single women, you need like 3 different characteristics in a man to make the one man you're looking for. Like Miss Jody said, you know, you need one that can fill the financial aspect of what you need. Not that you need a sugar daddy, but you need someone financially stable. Let's be realistic with that. And then someone that meets your personal desires as far as being attractive and healthy and all that good stuff. And one that's great, exceptional in the bedroom as well. So
that can all be one person. That's not 3 people. That could all be one person.
But when you're single for a while,
it can be one person. Indeed, can be
one person. Okay, so single women, we need to figure out where the one person is. But we do have this desire, despite the reality of it. I know I grew up thinking there was one person out there for me, and there probably still is. I just haven't met that person.
Exactly. Trial and error. Trial and error.
Or is it because you're looking for that one person and you have in your head an idea of what that one person should look like, be like, sound like, whatever it is. And because you haven't seen that, you feel you haven't met the one person.
In all honesty, I haven't even looked. Like, I've just given up looking. Like, I'm kind of like you, Judy, where I'm so busy working my regular job and the Caribbean Edge and the Caribbean Edge kids. And then, you know, I have 2 kids as well, which thankfully they're independent on their own. I play sports, volleyball, everything. So my life is full. So, and then I hang out with certain friends. I'm in the same crowds all the time. So my circle really doesn't change, which a lot of women find this, can probably relate to this. So put it in the comments if you are. And that becomes the reality, where as a single person, sometimes through the heartbreak and the hurt, a lot of the people picking up on you are probably married or in a relationship. They've lied so much. You know, you can't even go to church these days to find a good man. I'm sorry. So I don't have the answer. It's not because I have certain expectations and so I haven't seen that particular man. It's just the ones that come to the forefront. You know, I don't know. So we're going to take the spotlight off me a little bit and go back to Derek before I put more food in my mouth. So Derek, what do you have to say about what the ladies have said so far?
Well, one of the things I picked up on, and I'm going to go back to Judith as far as context, all right? We said, you know, can there be one? And I believe there's such thing, and Ms. Jody said a thing also as far as, hey, you know, we have different needs at different times in life. And so, you know, when somebody has married previously, that person may not have been the one. That person may have been the one at that time that we thought would have lasted a lifetime, but that season ended, right? And so now you're in a different season where you find that one that's providing what you need for your time frame now. And so I think in that context, as far as, hey, can there be someone for you? Yeah, there can be someone for you. It may not be a lifetime. It may not be someone that you meet when you're 20 years old or 21 years old in the last 50 years, because that concept is a little different these days. But, you know, those first marriages or first two marriages, 3, 4, 5, whichever one that you know may have gone through, and I'm just speaking, you know, in general sense, you know, may have taught you as far as what are some of the things that I do want to seek in a one, what are some of the things that I won't put up with, and what are some of the things I need to see, you know what I'm saying, for me to feel fulfilled and have the one that is going to make me happy and feel good in life. And so now, you know, as you express, ladies, now that you guys have partners, you know, that provide you that happiness, and your perspectives from, you know, your previous marriages, you know, gave you some feedback, gave you some insight that allow you to be able to find who you're with now. So when we're talking about the concept of can you be with one person, you know, it may not be in the life context, but it may be, hey, later in life, I did find someone that I could be with for the rest of my life. I did find a person that, you know, may not fit every need that I'm looking for, but fits those important needs that I have to feel satisfied. And so that's why I believe when you're talking about the concept of being with one person, you know, it's not meaning for the rest of your life. It doesn't mean that you're going to find it, you know, if it's your high school sweetheart, but through your trials and error, through your experiences, you know, through your heartbreak, you know, through all the pain that you've gone through, you know, you come out there being a better person and being able to have a better perspective as far as, you know, when you go further on and you get in these relationships or you meet people, what are the things that you have to have and whether these align with what I need in a partner. So I believe that the concept can always be there as far as you being with one person. Sometimes it just takes different experiences or going through different people or having, you know, that heartbreak and pain for you to understand what's necessary for you to be with one person.
Okay, so I'm going to switch to some of our viewers. So Wendy Stevens McCain, thank you everyone that's tuned in and that's leaving comments as well. She says, I believe each relationship prepares you for the one you are meant to be with. It may happen in your 20s or in your 60s. Just enjoy the ride.
That sounds like what I just
my
said.
Girl.
That sound like what she must have took my word. She must have somehow felt what I was about to say and put that right in there. So thank you.
I'm learning to do that. I'm on the conservative side. COVID doesn't help at all with that situation. But I think, you know, for a lot of us that are conservative, it's a little different. We don't know how to enjoy that ride because some people can date and, you know, sleep around, nothing wrong with it. They find comfort in trying the merchandise out early, while others, you know, take the more, you know, we need to date for a while and see, you know, mentally how we connect and everything else before, we check out the merchandising at a deeper level. So because of that, I don't think I enjoy, and I'm sure other women can relate to that, we don't just enjoy the ride as easily because it's harder for us to date because we take it seriously from the start. Even if it ends, we just take it, deep.
One of the advantages that I think the young people have today is they don't, I think we're from that era where you were supposed to be looking for somebody, and I like the concept of being able to go out with somebody. I mean, I'm married now, so clearly I'm not doing that, but to be able to just go out and have dinner and it not be heading somewhere.
Oh yeah.
It's not necessarily heading somewhere. And unfortunately, I think too many times, and I'm going to say this and probably get crucified for it, but my back brought me used to being crucified for things I say. Too many times the women go out with that in mind, looking to see if this is the one, instead of just go have dinner. And as she says, enjoy the ride. And I don't necessarily mean the physical ride now, but enjoy the ride, and because I think we're just locked into this idea that there is this one person out there. And it's just like purpose. When I speak at events and I speak on purpose, and people, I do a little life coaching, people are always saying, oh, I want to find my purpose. And I'm like, what is this one big purpose you're trying to find? In all the things you're doing throughout your life, you found purpose. There's been purpose at this point, which might be this, purpose at that point, which might be something else. And I think if we can just look at life as just every day a new journey, piling on top of the journey that was there before, as opposed to constantly trying to find that perfect job, the perfect man, the perfect woman, that particular fruit, that one thing. Just go through the journey. Go through the journey.
Thank you. And Judith, Julie Anley has a question for you. She says, do you think there could still be another person out there for you?
Do I think so? I don't think so, not right now, because I am really happy. I'm happy, I'm content, I'm in a good situation. My husband's great, I'm great. And we've been together for 13 years, something like that. We don't even remember. But right now, no, I don't think there's somebody else out there for me. No, God forbid, if he should pack up his stuff one day and say, I'm out, I've had enough of you and you're crazy, because I can drive you crazy. I've had enough of you and you're crazy and I'm out. I'm not gonna sit at home for the rest of my young life and go, ooh, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mourn for a short period of time, and then I'm gonna get back to life. And then, yes, Julie, I'll go find whoever else is out there.
Good. So let's see. Rosie says, I'm not sure what part of the conversation this is about, but she says, you're so right. If you're not feeling it, the connection is not there. It's a true warning sign. And she says, relationships, considerations that could avoid chaos. Are we connecting emotionally, spiritually? Do we share the same fundamental values, family values, visions, and goals? And she lists a lot of things here. Avoid negative energies, be progressive and supportive to your partner. Neil says most have, they just didn't recognize him. And I think that goes to the men are there, but we just simply don't recognize him. Aww. And I think Wendy's feeling a little sorry for me. She says, maybe you met him, but it was just not the time. So Miss Jody, let's hear from you in Trinidad there. What do you want to say about everything so far? You're muted, by the way.
Back to what Derek had said, I view it as stepping stones, picking up your bits and pieces of your experience along your way. And Judith was saying that, you know, it's ludicrous to really think that. When you are young, you perceive things in a particular manner. Like we all hope to have this Prince Charming wherever we fit. But when the natural, real world hits you, your perception change, your experiences allow you to change. And Derek was saying, to rewind a bit, it's growth that brings us to that, which is beautiful. So with all these negative experiences, we won't have the growth that will perfect us. One of the things that she talked about, Judith talked about, is people wanting their purpose. I get that question every god day of my life. Reverend Mother, what is my purpose? Your purpose is enjoying your journey that was given to you on planet Earth. You gather tools and credentials along your journey. So your purpose at age 5 would have some bearing on age 55. This beautiful culmination of skills and experiences, highs, lows, breakages. Oh, I like to describe it. Each of us probably cracked, but with the glue of experience, it will not close the wounds. You will be able to see the light within it. And then you will know how you have blossomed. So if the question that was posed to Judith about if my partner should pass away or whatever, definitely I'm getting on the horse, the plane, the truck, the bus. Let's see who's out there again. My schedule might be crazy, not enough hours in the day. But you have to enjoy life. The good book says, by the sweat of, but then you need to take time to enjoy your pleasure. So we need to think out of the box a bit. You were saying your life is okay, and you may not have the time. Widen your circle a bit. You may just concentrate on, okay, I'll do this, but then go play miniature golf. Pick up a cricket bat, you'll meet a whole new world of people out there. Who's to say that Mr. Right is not?
I agree with that. I agree with exploring more cultures, more activities, so you're not doing the same thing all the time, and meeting new people. It's amazing. I've met a lot of people through this show as well. So just broadening, what we do on a daily basis makes a difference. But I'm beyond the dinners that, Judy, I think a lot of women, we're okay going out to dinner and whining and dining. I see Rosie put the comment that she's with me on this. It's deeper than the dinners and everything else. Like, you still have this conservative nature about you that is just there. And I don't know if I'm describing it well, that doesn't allow you to move forward. And some of it may be based on my personal upbringing or other women that can relate to this. I had a dad that was a womanizer, like a lot of men are, in the Caribbean. So I wanted to grow up and do the opposite, have the opposite of everything about that. And I just have certain reservations about myself, my body, who I am. And so when I go out to dinner, that's okay. And I'm not one to curl up in the bed and cry either. If it doesn't work out, then bye, because I enjoy me and who I am. But at the same time, there's this reservation when it comes to just dating people and, like just letting loose. I don't know. It's like dancing. Some people can let loose and, jump up and everything. I'm just not that let loose girl.
Well, Dawn, I'm with you on if we're talking about let loose as in sex, going to bed. I get that, I'm not that girl either who will meet you this week, meet you today and tomorrow. There we are. I'm not that girl. And I don't have any condemnations for anybody. I leave all judgments up to God. So how people live their lives, as long as you're not encroaching on somebody else's life negatively, it's not my problem. It's not for me to worry about. But I'm just saying, I understand that. And the way we're raised, especially in the Caribbean, is very conservative in our thinking. Even for those of us who are not as conservative in our ways, we're raised that way. But I think what we're talking about, though, is not so much the whole idea of the dating or sleeping around. It's just the concept of coming back to it, that, you know, there's just this one person, and that every time, and I've heard it, I work with a lot of young people. Right? My husband and I were facilitators for Jamaica Youth for Christ, and I work with a lot of young people. And I work with a lot of young people who are looking for that person, and a lot of people who are in church, and the church encourages you to get married. By the time they get to 23, the church is already trying to push people together. And when you're going to get married, when you're going to get married. So I hear the pressure from both the young men when they talk to me and the young women. And so especially in a church context, they're always looking for that man or that woman and that one person. Because again, the church teaches that there's one person and you're supposed to have this one person and stay with them for life until death do you part. And I won't even bother to get into the history of marriage and when legal marriage came about and all of that. That's a whole nother show in itself. But all of those things have helped to push us in this direction. And I just feel like people need to be allowed to live their truth. My truth is different from Derek's truth. Jody's truth is different from my truth, and it's different from your truth. And I feel people need to learn to live their truth and what is true to you. And so the wholesale kind of condemnation that people sometimes heap upon people who have had broken marriages, or, you know, you have 4 different children and 3 of them have different fathers. You know, let's get past. I want us to get past all this condemnation and all this hurt and pain that we inflict on each other because we have these mindsets that are colonial mindsets and mindsets that were just put into our head, whether through the church or through our parents or whatever, and recognize that human beings think differently. And we live differently.
Said. Well said. So I'm going to wrap up as we catch the class, because we do have Edge After Dark following this show. So Jody, any final thoughts or words you'd want to share with us on the topic, which is the idea that there's only one person for each of us, is total madness.
Take your time, enjoy your life, be true to you, and then you can be true to anyone else.
I agree. And Desmond, one of our viewers, I read something he wrote, which is just finding yourself and your inner peace, so to speak, before you can find someone else as well. So that's very important for a lot of us. Mr. Derek?
Time is on your side, good people. And so you do not have to rush into just believing that you just have to find the first Mr. Right or Mrs. Right because you feel like you have to, you know, you need this time to spend the next 50 years, or I'm getting older and I don't want to be alone. And you end up finding yourself being in situations that aren't that don't have that compatibility that you're looking for as far as finding that one. So take time to know yourself, be who you are, love yourself. That will allow you to open up, blossom, and be receptive to finding the one that's for you. Because when you put that pressure and that time against you, then you rush and you end up finding that one that was never right for you. So take the time to love yourself, take the time to know yourself, and don't feel like you're underneath this stopwatch and that you have to find someone immediately so you can enjoy the rest of your life. So is the one out there? Definitely can be out there for you, but take your time and take your time.
They said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try them on. And I know, growing up in the islands, you rush. I think anywhere. You just think you're getting old by the time you hit 20, because you can't even fathom 30, 40, 50, right?
You know what,
so
Dawn?
I can't be alone. Sorry. I can't be alone.
Yeah, not meaning to cut you though. I'm very happy to say though that is changing. And a lot of the young women are going for their careers first. They're even choosing not to have children. You know, a lot of women are choosing not to have children, and it's a choice. It is a choice, and it is a choice that we should respect. And we should honor that everybody makes their own choice of what is good for their life.
And I think a lot of parents are choosing to raise their children differently too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do not want my kids getting married until they figure out who they are first, because they need to, like you guys have said, enjoy the ride. And there's no pressure on my kids. So to your point, Judith, yes, our younger generation will probably be more successful at this relationship. So by knowing who they are first.
And
Anything
also
else?
by not taking what is not good for them. You know, we weren't raised with the idea of toxic relationships. You know, Jody talked about that toxic relationship. Some relationships are just toxic, man. Get out, get the hell out. If it is toxic, if you don't like who you are around somebody and who they make you to be, then you don't need to be in that. You know, I thought we were going to talk about more than one person at the same time. Somebody asked me that. I was like, no, that's not what we're talking about. I'm glad we didn't go there. But,
well, go there since you raised it. Wrap us up with that, Judy.
Yeah, somebody actually asked me if that's what we were going to talk about. I'm like, no, because they were thinking it meant, and this is for anybody who misunderstood the topic, because I know I had at least 3 people ask me. It's not about being with more than one person at the same time. It's the idea that there might be this one for you now, but I don't believe in the one for you concept at all. I just don't believe in it. Because when you say one, it means that there is no more.
Yeah.
You know, one to me, one of something means the mold has been broken and there is no more. And so I don't believe in the one concept at all. I believe that who we love is a choice. I believe that everybody has to own their choices. And, you know, you're growing up, you hear about falling in love. Well, quite a long time ago, I recognized that love is a choice. And it is better for you to choose to love somebody than to fall in it, because when you fall, you don't have no control. You know.
I love that. Choose to love someone.
Yeah, choose to love. And to Derek's point, that's what makes Derek's marriage work. That's what makes marriage work, is the choice. Every day you get up and you say, you know, although he drives me mad, I'm going to choose to love him anyway. Yeah. And so that's why I don't really believe in the one thing, because that may not be the one, but you can choose to love that person and make them the one, even though they may not be the one, if that makes any sense to you.
Yes.
You know, that we can actually make that choice. That even though he's short, throwing stone now, even though he's short, and you know, you can choose. And I understand, because yeah, there was a guy who did love me to death, but I'm short, I'm 5'3". And he was like 5 foot, and I couldn't get past it. I could not get past it. But at an older age, maybe I would have chosen. So that's really what I want to end with, is just the idea that love is a choice. And finding the one is more of us making the person the one. Because the person doesn't come to you with everything, will never come to you with everything. And no matter how much they are the one, they're going to drive you mad at some point. At some point, one morning, you're going to wake up and go, what did I do? And then you have to choose again to love them again. Because there really is no one in my book. You have to choose to make them the one.
Well, I'm going to meet the one and then choose to be with him and drive him crazy.
Don't drive him crazy. Don't drive him crazy.
Me crazy too.
Don't drive him crazy, please. Don't drive him crazy.
I'm sure he'll drive me crazy too. But on that note, I thank you all for joining us tonight. To our viewers, blessings and love. And to my panel, well said tonight. I appreciate you all. So thank you. Walk good.
Thank you.
And one love. Bye.
Bye, everybody.